Hello, crafty friends, and welcome back. Today I'm playing along with Off the Board with Pineapple Papers, and we are playing along all month long. Today's prompt was to do a scrap lift, so there is the uh, pen that I chose to use for my inspiration. I'm also playing along with stitches, and stencils. This is my first time playing along with this hop, and I don't know. I think it was kind of a weak play, but I'm giving it a shot here. So here is my stencil. If this wasn't a pre-created base page, I probably would have done actual stitching. But here's my stenciling. That the actual class kit that I got um, had us putting laser cut stars on the backside, and I decided not to use those, and I'm actually going rogue from what was actually indicated or prompted to use in the actual class kit. And since I only had two pictures to go on this page, and so I pulled out an older 49 Market collection, these chipboard frames from several years ago, and the colors still match with this Vicky Bouton collection that I am using today. And so this picture, the top picture obviously fit the entire frame, but the bottom picture is a 2x2 size, so I did need to back the actual frame with some pattern paper, and now I am matting the picture with a scrap piece of white paper, and I did decide to go ahead and pop it up with some foam adhesive so it didn't look quite so flat and falling inside of the frame. So getting that stuck down there, and let's see. So here's where my stitches come in. Again, since this was a pre-made page, I did go ahead and decide to only use rub-on stitches for my stitches and stencils. And if the other side had not already been completed, I probably would have pulled out my sewing machine and actually done stitches with my machine. But this was the next best thing, and actually these 49 Market stitch rub-ons look fantastic. They look like real stitching, and just kind of added a fun, different touch to the side of this border laser cut that came with the Christmas kit from last year. So I was lucky enough to take a class from Janine Meyerowitz that owns 49 Market last fall, and in the class we put together the base pages, and so now for my Christmas in July I am finally working on adding my pictures from last Christmas to the actual album. So here you can see that I switched out from the actual cutout film strip to this more solid one, so you could see it on that striped paper. And that upper cluster and this lower cluster was what was inspired by my scrap lift pin. If you can see just above the picture in the pin that I chose, the layout, there was a similar film strip with some swirly pieces, probably either a ephemera or a laser cut maybe, that kind of emphasized around the outside of the photo there. So that was where my pin came in for what embellishments I was going to pull in to go along with this frame. So before I decided to stick this chipboard piece down, I did add a little bit of washi tape around to make sure that the papers and the photos were attached good to the frame. And since chipboard tends to be sometimes a little finicky on sticking on things, I did add some tear tape, and I'm also using liquid glue, so adding a little bit of everything there. And I start out pushing down with my hands, and then I am going to bring in my Sweet Petunia magnets here to help hold both ends down there. That my glass mat down below is actually magnetic, and so when I put the magnets down, it just kind of holds that down for me to make sure I get a really good stick on that chipboard frame. So just adding a few more laser cuts here around each of the photos, and that pretty much wraps things up for this layout. So if you have any questions for me, please feel free to leave those down below. I will have links for Off the Board playlist as well as stitches and stencils. So go check everybody out and see what they are creating today with their pins off their Pinterest board and how they are incorporating their stencils and stitches on their layouts. So here come the close-up shots. And you can find these also on my social media links, which are also in the description. So thank you for stopping by, and we will see you next time. Bye.